Sorry. You say it when someone bumps into you. Sorry for bothering you. When you ask a simple question. Sorry I exist, you joke. But it doesn't feel like a joke. You apologize for taking up space, for having needs, for being inconvenient by simply being alive. If you apologize for breathing too loudly, for existing in the same room as other people, for daring to have opinions or feelings, this video is for you. You're not being polite. You're not being considerate. You're operating from a deep, unconscious belief that your existence is somehow wrong, somehow too much, somehow a burden that everyone else has to carry. Here's where this comes from and why it's slowly destroying your life. Your brain learned that taking up space is dangerous. Think about the last time you felt completely comfortable just existing somewhere. Not performing, not being useful, not shrinking yourself, just being. Can't remember. That's because somewhere in your childhood, you learned that your natural size, your natural energy, your natural needs were too much for the people around you. Maybe you were told you were too sensitive when you cried. Maybe you were shushed when you got excited. Maybe you learned that the adults in your life could only handle you when you were small, quiet, and invisible. Your developing brain made a survival calculation. Big me equals rejection. Small me equals safety. So you learned to apologize for every inch of space you occupy, every breath you take, every need you dare to express. You're apologizing for crimes you never committed. Sorry for being emotional. Sorry for taking so long. Sorry for needing help. You're walking through life like you're on trial for the crime of being human, and you've already decided you're guilty. But what exactly are you guilty of? Having feelings? Needing time to process things? Requiring basic human support? These aren't crimes. These are requirements for being alive, yet you treat them like violations that require constant apology. Your nervous system has been programmed to believe that your basic humanity is an inconvenience to others. That your emotions are too big, your needs too demanding, your presence too overwhelming. You've become a human sorry machine. Watch yourself for one day. Count how many times you say sorry for things that don't require apology. Sorry for asking a question. Sorry for having an opinion. Sorry for existing in a space that you have every right to be in. You're not apologizing for actual mistakes. You're apologizing for the audacity of being alive while taking up space and having needs like every other human being on the planet. This isn't politeness. This is self-erasure. You're trying to apologize yourself out of existence because you learned that your existence is inherently problematic. The too much programming runs everything. I'm too sensitive. I'm too needy. I'm too emotional. I'm too loud. I'm too much work. This is the soundtrack of your internal world. Every part of who you are feels like it needs to be smaller, quieter, less demanding. But here's what nobody told you. There is no such thing as being too much for the right people. The people who truly love you don't experience your emotions as a burden. They don't see your needs as inconvenient. They don't wish you would disappear. You learned you were too much from people who didn't have the emotional capacity to handle a full human being. Their limitation became your identity. You're suffocating yourself with preemptive apologies. You apologize before you even speak because you assume that whatever you're about to say will be unwelcome. You apologize for your feelings before you express them because you've been taught that your emotions are inconvenient for others. You're constantly preparing everyone around you for the supposed burden of your existence. Sorry to bother you, but... Sorry if this is stupid, but... Sorry for being so much, but... You're not giving anyone the chance to actually welcome you because you've already decided that you're unwelcome. Your self-worth is negative. Most people struggle with low self-worth. You've gone beyond that into negative self-worth. You don't just think you're not valuable. You think you're actively harmful to others by existing. You think people would be better off without you taking up space in their world. This isn't humility. This isn't modesty. This is a profound disconnection from your basic right to exist as you are. You're teaching everyone to see you as a burden. When you constantly apologize for your existence, you train the people around you to see you as an inconvenience. When you treat your needs like unreasonable demands, others start to see them that way too. You're not protecting people from your too muchness. You're teaching them to experience you as too much. You're creating the very rejection you're trying to avoid. The childhood wound that started it all. Somewhere in your early years, the adults around you couldn't handle your full humanity. Maybe they were overwhelmed. Maybe they were dealing with their own trauma. Maybe they simply didn't have the tools to support a growing human being with big feelings and big needs. Instead of getting the message, "You're perfect as you are," you got, "You're too much." Instead of "Your feelings matter," you got, "Stop being so sensitive." Instead of "We love all of you," you got, "We love you better when you're smaller." That child inside you is still trying to be small enough to be loved. Still apologizing for the crime of being human. You're not actually sorry. Here's the truth. You're not actually sorry for existing. You're terrified. You're terrified of taking up space and having someone confirm your deepest fear. That you really are too much. That you really don't belong. That everyone really would be better off without you. So you apologize first. You make yourself small first. You erase yourself before anyone else can erase you. It's a protection strategy that's slowly killing your soul. The people who matter don't need your apologies. The people who truly love you don't experience your emotions as a burden. They don't see your needs as inconvenient. They don't require you to shrink yourself to be acceptable. They want to know how you're really doing. They want to hear your opinions, even when they disagree. They want you to take up space, to be fully present, to stop apologizing for the gift of your existence. You deserve to exist unapologetically. You deserve to have feelings without apologizing for them. You deserve to take up physical space without making yourself smaller. You deserve to have needs and express them clearly without prefacing them with 17 apologies. You deserve to speak without saying sorry first. You deserve to have bad days without apologizing for not being perfect. You deserve to be inconvenient sometimes because that's what it means to be human. The recovery starts with awareness. Start noticing your apologies. Which ones are for actual mistakes, and which ones are for being human? Start catching yourself before you apologize for existing and ask, what exactly am I apologizing for? Practice existing without apology. Walk into a room without making yourself smaller. Express a need without 17 disclaimers. Let yourself take up the space you naturally occupy. Your existence is not a problem that needs solving. You are not too much for this world. You are exactly the right amount of you. The world needs people who are willing to be fully human, fully present, fully themselves. It doesn't need more people apologizing for existing. What's one thing you apologize for that you're going to stop apologizing for this week? Let me know in the comments. And if this resonated with you, subscribe for more psychology that helps you stop shrinking yourself. Next week, why some people physically cannot accept compliments, even when they desperately want to believe them.